Can Trump pump the market? This could be epic. Let's get into it with our daily SPY analysis. Today is January 24th, 2025. If you've not done so already, don't forget to give the video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. But let's get into it here today. So before we get into Trump and what's going on there, markets here basically crashed today, down 29 basis points. So, I mean, this is, fear like we've never seen. I just can't believe the bears are this greedy. But no, it's in all seriousness though. We did finally get a red day today after a 350 point move in 7 or 8 sessions. And we did back off just a little bit, obviously. I told you guys yesterday not to look for the market to go much past 610. And, we went to 610.78 and we closed below 608, which was where another, call wall was sitting, and they did push it below that by the end of the day. Technically, the spiders, SPX rather, did close above the all-time high on the weekly by 1 point. So like literally like 1.25 points. Literally the previous high was 60.99.97 and 61.01.24. So new high closing on the weekly. I don't think that's of too much consequence. I mean, it's a good psychological for bulls here, but short term, like I said, bottom line, I would not open fresh longs here. I would not short either. It's just a little too risky. We don't have any sort of confirming signals. But next week, we have a lot going on. We got earnings, Apple, all the big boys, I think Meta, Google, all them. And then we've got FOMC, and we've got PCE even on Thursday. So a lot going on next week. I also don't think the VIX goes too much lower here over the next week or two. I think 14 is a hard cap on the downside. So again, like I've said, I think if you're going to play short, use volatility. I think that's probably the best way to do it right now until we get some sort of confirming signal. But what's going on with Trump here? So he's, according to him, I don't have the article in front, I should have pulled it up, but according to him, he knows more than the Fed about interest rates. And what does that mean? It means he's going to bully, he's going to bully Powell, right? And we can sit here and debate over if that's going to happen. The Fed just follows the bond market. That's you could, if you say that you have a good case to make there. You could also say that the Fed is political, and there's historical precedence right back here. Remember, where Powell was saying higher for longer, and then a week later he's like, "That's it, we're going to cut." We got 7 cuts next year, right? There was well documented political pressure, mainly from Yellen, at that point. So I don't care about whether that the possibilities or not. What I do want to say though is if he is successful in pushing the 2-year down, we could be looking at a real blow off here. And I don't mean like 6150, 6200. I mean like halfway to 7, possibly, maybe more. That's just kind of how I see this here. It's definitely possible. Short term, yeah. Right now, okay, we still have some. We still got a lot of call exposure up here. That's going to probably. I think if we pumped on FOMC, that would probably give us a pullback here, a short term, like a mini blow off here, and then a retrace. We've had moves like this before where we just melted up, tried to bull flag and failed, and then we put in a higher low. We saw that kind of here. We saw that here for sure. That led to the biggest decline that we've had in a while. But in the big picture, though, yeah, I think it's definitely possible if he's successful in doing that. And today, we can look at yields. They haven't really moved a ton. But what has happened, and looking at the HK, we'll talk about this in a second because it definitely matters. But if you look at the 2s, they're not down a ton. 30s and 10s, though, have room for lower highs. And guess what? The dollar got smoked. I told you guys about 108. If that loses that, it's going to go to 107, then 106.50, and the low here was 107.21. Again, my trade idea here also was emerging markets. HK, nice bull flag. It's starting to hammer up. Shanghai, bull flag, starting to hammer on that resistance. EEM, emerging market ETF, up big today. Up 66 basis points. ASHR, this is something I'm in. 1.5% gain. So this is a ETF on the Shanghai, essentially. A lot of people predicted that Trump wouldn't be able to talk the dollar down. Well, it's going down right now. So watch that, and watch rates. So if he's successful in getting this 2-year out of this range here, I think the market's really going to like that. And tens, especially tens and 30s, especially if we can get down to 465, which I think is still a possibility. I think the market would like that too. Now, where it would become a problem is if it starts going down too fast, right? Especially the twos. But don't rule it out. Again, don't rule out. Crazier things have happened, right? If I told you 2 years ago that QQQ would be up 110% from this low right here, you'd be like, there's no way. Yeah, the banks are failing, this and all that, the other thing. Don't think it can't happen. This is one of the reasons why I predicted Apple to 260, 270, not that long ago, because we had a nice monthly inside candle, nice monthly inside bar, and it blew up. And this big move here, it's overbought, it can't keep going higher, it's blow off top. No, the monthly is still a nice base here. The most important stock in the world just went sideways for a year in an uptrend. So it can trend higher. So saying a lot here, but just don't think it can't happen. So maybe something a la Jan 2018. That said, I think there still could be some risk coming around the corner. At least in the short term, it could turn into bigger risk, but we need to see a lot more confirmation. Definitely seeing like McClellan above 200, not good. A few other things kind of cropping up here, but nothing crazy yet. It's still right now a little bit of a pain trade. A lot of people predicted the end of the world when this candle happened, and I was one of the few saying, nah, I don't think it's I think we could still trade against this. And we never confirmed. Well, we got the 1 day close, and then I said if bulls reverse it Monday, it's fine, and that's what they did. So just keep an open mind here. But right now, I just say anything above 6K I think is fine at the moment. We could even go a little bit lower than that. It would still be healthy. Qs did not make new all-time highs, obviously. We had a pretty good rejection on NVIDIA today, too. However, the weekly is still pretty good. So zoom out to those weekly time frames. They tell you a lot. But Qs, again, levels haven't really changed. 525 is your really short-term level on the downside. We almost got to 535 today. It got there. Yeah, I got to 533 2 days ago. And then obviously 540 is a top right now. Obviously. IWM was a good scalp short today in the trading room. And I haven't had the greatest week here, to be honest. I don't like this low volatility stuff. Dying for price discovery to come back into the tape. But I didn't hold it that long. Some members held it to the bottom, which was nice. But the 230 level we knew was going to be resistance, and it showed up finally. It's like, trying to short this tape has been like, it's like you get 5 points and you got to like take profit because these guys are relentlessly buying the dip lately. But 230 still res, and if it bases enough, it can go through that to 235 and maybe higher. But right now, we'll just leave it at that. Below 225 would be a little bit of a negative there. The diamond did pause today. We talked about this as well yesterday. Remember, I said 786 hit. You got to pause there. Ultimately, I think this wants to go make new highs, but 450 is still your next level. And we'll say 435 on the downside for now. SMH backed off, obviously. Not the worst, I mean, this could just kind of flag here. It's not broken yet. But these moving averages now, see how they're starting to separate? The 20 is above the 50 again. The 50 is above the 100. The 100 is above the 200. They're spreading out again. They were tight, and now they're starting to spread. Again, weekly, there's no damage here. Zero. So just zoom out when you can. IGV down 44 cents. Again, still got to get through 106. Trend is still up, though. Transports, no dice on the 16.7. We got above 16.6 by a weekly close. But that candle right there, that high is the weekly red bar that we need to negate on a weekly close to negate that bear inside bar completely. We already negated on the daily, but weekly's there. We talked about rates really quick, though. I think TLT can still get to 90. I think as long as 86 holds, it's okay. XHB, and even double bottom really, but XHB down 74 cents. This needs to consolidate a little bit more. The 20 MA's got to catch up. But if it does, it can go higher. VNQ is the same thing, but this is a little bit stronger though. At least the 20 is not as extended. XLF, here's a point for the bulls here of 15 cents. Goldman, Morgan Stanley, JPM, all three of them are at the highs. At all-time highs. So that's a huge point for bulls. KRE up 47 cents. It was down earlier and it came back. That needs to consolidate a little bit more to get through 64. If it does, it's going higher. Same thing with KBE at 58 and 58.50-ish. Again, watch the 20 MA. If it catches up, it can go. Should we even cover broker dealers? Like you guys know what broker dealers are doing, right? So, yeah. Speaking of blow off, like this is what it starts to look like here. It's just yeah. This looks like a meme stock here, meme coin. Oil here at technically it held. So on the H contract, it's actually into the 20 MA. It just rolled recently, so the continuous doesn't look as caught up. I don't know. I still think Monday, if this is down into that 20 MA, it could get a bid here. Tried scalping it this morning. It didn't work out. It did come back around by the end of the day, though. I still think this is pretty decent in this area, at least for a bounce. Trump's been talking oil down, though, so it's been getting that negative press. However, XLE, again, it did make a new low, but you know, you'd think that these would be down a ton. Like they're just kind of slowly, look at the intraday. This is a controlled pullback, right? You're not seeing dumping like you did actually both these two times, and it came back both times. So what I'm saying is that like Trump is basically like saying all this, he's talking tough on like drilling and all that, and yet investors are still willing to step in and buy. That's usually good. That's usually a good sign when you get negative news and you're still, doesn't mean that buyers have to win every time they buy the dip, but they're trying. They're actually stepping in front of it willingly. They're not just letting it go down and not bidding. So XOP lower high here. I haven't really done too much number work on this. Let's just take a fib here. I mean, you didn't really build support. I'd just say 135, 138, yeah, are your short-term levels there. OIH again, 300 holding like we said. I will just say like 285 or so for now on the downside. I'm more about pattern with these than price right now. CCJ down today, but again, went right to that trend line again. You got the higher high. This isn't even what's moving in the uranium market. Look at Oklo again. Look at this. Look at the weekly candle. This is Trump coin, eat your heart out, right? SMR also with a nice bid. No new highs, but nice little curl up, tested support, right? I mean, this is textbook charting right here. NM, again, higher high, outside move today, and same thing with NJ, but they can work their way back up. Sprott's got to put those two in these to get them some juice. You got to add them in next quarter. I'm going to switch to H on nat gas here. It did finish down 3 cents. It came off the lows. Just so you know, G. Look at the look at the backwardation. This was up $1.88, or excuse me, up 1.88%, 7-cent gain, and it's at $4. And the H is at 343, and it was red. A lot of backwardation. Weather starting to warm up. I don't like being a weatherman, but I guess you just to come up with something, I guess, that would explain that. But right now on the H, yeah, if you can get through this area, it can go to 4. But I don't know. Nat gas is really, it's the widowmaker for a reason. We talked about the dollar, yeah, 107 to 106.50 if it keeps going down. Got to reclaim 108 to rally. Gold up 0.5%. Still needs to base, but we're almost at all-time highs here. It needs to base a little bit more, I think. Silver, bull inside bar is getting more mature. I want to see another day or two of this, though. So I do like it here, but I've seen these falling wedges break before. In fact, the next chart I'll show you, right? Platinum, it did that, right? Did the bull break of the falling wedge, and then it did like the double screw you job, basically, where buyers get screwed, then sellers get screwed here. But just don't want this to roll over there. Then we go back to square one. But that inside bar pattern's not bad, and your defined risk is right there. So you can just stop out on a daily close if you wanted to take it here. And then just rebuy it later. But platinum was up a little bit today. Still got some forming to do and basing to do if it wants to test 1,000 again. And then palladium, we told you 1025 was going to be resistance. That's where it stopped. You know, we got through it a little bit. We pulled back. You did make a higher high here. But now I think it needs another base to get through this. And then, I mean, there's no supply here. This is just short sellers, so you can just blow through that if this bases. Copper, possibly working on a W, right? A WV, actually. So there's your W, double bottom, textbook, right? Because you sliced the low. I always like to see a lower low there. And then the pullback. Usually the pullback you want to be, well, it's already at 50%. There you go. So technically that's enough. I like the 618, though. Usually for a WV, I like the 618, but it hit the 50%. So if you want to try copper, you know, it's not a terrible pattern. So I just don't really like swing trading commodities all that much, unless I'm really sure of something. But that's not bad pattern-wise at face value. Bitcoin's still fine. Yeah, looks good. Inside bar, trend is up. This is ready to go to all-time highs and beyond. It's getting ready. So I also think Solana looks good too. Just needs to do a little bit more basing. You guys know I like Cardano too. I have like a tiny amount. I just prefer to see it hold higher lows here. But yeah, these coins look fine. I don't see any issues. Even ETH kind of has a little bit of a bull flag there starting to form. It's not the best, but I mean, look, you got a little kind of like falling wedge look. I love the monthly. Everybody hates Ethereum. Maybe that's why I should buy it. But this monthly is good. Right, look at that pattern. There's zero problems with that. So anyway, looks good. So again, just right now, again, I would not open fresh longs here. I don't think I would really go short though either. So I just think we need some more price discovery. We need to see like an actual slice of one of these lows or a retest of 6 or something like that. And then we can kind of go from there. But we got earnings next week. Hopefully volatility comes back. This week it's kind of sucked a little bit. I got stopped out. I had a runner long at 59.84 last week. It got hit by like 10 points and then we just took off. So it was kind of a tough, challenging week to trade here. But just when you're just in melt-up mode like that and you're in that pain trade, that's just kind of how it is. But we'll see what we get next week. Earnings, FOMC, PCE. And we'll go from there. So anyways, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys all on Monday.